Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for being here today. And I am super excited to hear Dr. Shawn McKee today and just listen to her bio. Shawn McKee is a neuroradiologist, Air Force veteran, former two-time 140.6-mile Ironman triathlete, and ultra marathoner. Holy cow, married for 34 years to her gastroenterologist husband, what a great guy, and mom of 2 adult sons, 3 happy little dogs, and 1 zany big dog. Oh my gosh, 4 dogs. Once her doctor told her about activation, she knew she had a moral obligation to share it. I feel exactly the same way, Dr. Shawn McKee. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes to LifeVantage. We're delighted to hear you today.
Oh, thank you so much, Carrie, for that great introduction. Just right on the situation. Yeah, so here's what happened. I was 39 years old and doing all these wonderful sports and feeling great. And then one day I was about 44, 45 years old, doing all these sports and feeling exhausted. And that wasn't okay. I was actually looking for everything to make me feel better. I was reading up in the scientific journals. I was reading in the lay athletic journals, reading all about things like green tea and turmeric being anti-inflammatory. And I was just like, give it to me. And I would take this. And finally, I was so exhausted that because I would hit the snooze button every morning, multiple times, my husband started to come into the bedroom every morning with a cup of coffee and put it on the nightstand, hoping the aroma wafting into my nostrils would wake me up because I had kids to get to school and then I had to go get to work myself. So, I was like, okay, something's got to give. Finally, he suggested that I go to see an anti-aging doctor that he sends all his cancer patients to, looking like, basically he said, I send them to her looking like death and they come back looking like $1 million. And so my nose was like bent and I was kind of like, buddy, what are you saying? I'm only 44, 45. But, I knew he was right. I knew something was wrong. He said, maybe you're low in thyroid. Maybe you're low in, hormones. I don't know. I said, okay, I'll go see her. So after about $1,000+ worth of labs, she determined that my cortisol was in the toilet. Like it was exactly opposite. It's supposed to be high in the morning and then gradually go down. Mine was below baseline in the morning and barely crept up to below the minimum. So it was seriously messed up. My adrenals were shot. My thyroid was low. My vitamin D was low. My magnesium was low. My testosterone was low. So she put me on even more supplements than I'd already been taking. And I started getting some of the ones that I was already taking from her because she had the quote unquote best quality. And I did this for 6 months. I'm taking 28 pills a day, trying to get my kids to school on time. Now I've got to open 28 bottles and swallow and close 28 bottles. I throw them in a baggie, get in the car, thinking I really, made some headway, but then I realized I didn't have water. It was just a mess. I was tired of it. I did this for 6 months and I really didn't feel much better. Some things were marginally better because I was replacing some hormones that I needed, but I still felt something was off. It wasn't right. I was used to being an Energizer bunny. This was not okay. My family was suffering. I was not happy. And when I went back for my 6-month follow-up, my doctor said, how are you doing? I said, fine. I hate taking that many pills. And that's when she said the words that changed my life back in 2012. She said, well, there is one thing that's clinically proven to reduce oxidative stress. Now, I happen to know what that was. Most people don't. Oxidative stress by almost half in 30 days in everyone who takes it. And they have real peer-reviewed published studies done by major medical schools. So my husband and I both take it and we invested in the company. I was like, you had me at hello. I'm taking that for the rest of my life. How do I get it? And she's like, well, I don't really sell it because it's sold through a network and I'm not sure how that would work in my practice. I'm like, lady, I'm buying everything else from you. I'm literally going to your front desk and the receptionist is turning around, opening up a cabinet, pulling out bottles and giving them to me and I'm paying for them. And if I'm not here, like for the 3 months when I didn't make it the trip up because she was 30 miles away, I would call up and she would send them to me. Like, what are you talking about? So anyway, I got online and I ordered them. And turns out that I was an Energizer bunny in many ways. I was a brick and mortar business owner. And one of my brick and mortar businesses was a 140,000 square foot health and wellness facility with 7 pools and indoor track, 85 fitness classes a week. And the general manager of it had already tried to tell me about this. And I'm literally going, I don't want to hear about your magic yellow pill. I'm already taking all the best stuff. So when I went to the meeting after seeing my doctor, I said, you know, that thing you were trying to tell me about? He goes, what, Protandim? And I'm like, yes. He goes, what about it? I go, my doctor told me about it. And he goes, well, and I go, so I got the big box because I knew I was going to take it forever. And he goes, well, turns out they asked, you know, how did you hear about this? She was just a customer. So he said, you know, tell me. And so I ended up in the person's group that actually had told my doctor about it. It's crazy. And that's not the way most people find out about it. But let me just tell you why I was hooked from that moment on. All right. I took it. I felt it. Oops, I'm not sharing my screens. Hold on. Ah, now I've got to share my screen. Hold on.
You got it.
I got it. Share screen. And there we go. Share.
There
You
you
see
go.
it?
Yep.
And present. And of course, it's on the wrong slide, but we'll get there. Okay. So that's me.
Perfect.
I don't always look like that. Hardly ever look like that. I don't think I've only looked like that one day. Anyway, I took it, I felt it, and I felt a moral obligation, as Carrie said, to share it. I started telling everyone, you know what oxidative stress is? Like I said, most people don't know what that is, but if you think about it, it's what happens when you cut an apple. You know, that skin protects the flesh of the apple from oxidation or the oxygen in the environment. You cut that apple, it turns brown. If you leave a bicycle out in the rain, it rusts. That's all oxidation. And our cells are exposed to the same oxygen that rusts bicycles and turns apples brown. Basically, we turn brown. It just takes us 80 years to do it. If you actually look at rib cartilage in anatomy, like we did, older people have brown rib cartilage. It's oxidized, and younger people have clear or white cartilage. Fun thing is, I would take this and tell people about this, whether the company did anything for me or not, because that's just what I'm about. I told my hairdresser she should stop smoking because, you know, it caused split ends. And actually, she did quit smoking once I gave her that little tidbit. I'm always telling people things that can make their lives better. And it's kind of annoying, my husband thinks, but that's just who I am. But now I'm not only making a difference, which I would do anyway, and I'm also having the best time because look at these amazing people. Carrie is just the best. There's so many wonderful, wonderful heart-minded people, heart-centered people, like-minded people in this company. So we have a blast and we get to make money because whenever someone purchases, after we tell them what this is and they use our link, the company pays us. All right, so this is what my doctor told me about that blew my mind. I didn't even see this ABC Primetime Investigative Report. You'll see that on the left. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go see it. I hadn't seen it. All I knew was what my doctor told me. I said, I hate taking that many pills. I'm not really feeling much better. And she says, well, there's one thing that's clinically proven to reduce oxidative stress, which is cellular damage from breathing and eating. No matter how clean your diet is, even if the Dalai Lama has oxidative stress, it's a chemical pathway. It reduces it back to the level of a healthy 20-year-old in everyone who takes it. That blew my mind. And then a few weeks later, that same gym that I owned, I told you about, happened to have a meeting there, and they showed this video. And I'm like, what? That aired in 2005 and I hadn't seen it. I was mad. To date, if you look up that oxidative stress phenomenon we were just talking about, there's over 300,000 studies on it. It's involved in everything that affects us. It affects the heart cells. Think about it. Your heart is pumping. It has mitochondria that give it energy, and it's pumping oxygenated blood, which has oxygen-free radicals, which damage the mitochondria, which once they're damaged, they spew out more free radicals. Now the heart is less energetically able to pump and more damaged, and it just creates this terrible cycle. Certainly the lung, the brain, your brain has 100,000 mitochondria per cell. It's 3% of your body weight, and 20 to 25% of your energy is used in your brain because of the density of the mitochondria. And when you have damaged mitochondria, they're just like free radical factories. They're just spewing out pollution, and it's creating havoc. Now, let's think about this. 80,000 new chemicals have been introduced into our lives since the Industrial Revolution. Herbicides, pesticides, fungicides. Did you know that they're actually mitochondrial poisons? The same herbicides that they spray on your food in a lab, If they're studying mitochondrial dysfunction, they sprinkle that, drop it onto the cells and see what happens, because it damages mitochondria and they want to see, how does this affect this particular thing? Hardly anyone eats the way they're supposed to eat. Now, if you could even figure out what that is, excuse me for just a second. You know, I have my idea of what the perfect way to eat is, and I don't always eat that way. But if you talk to somebody else who's in health and wellness, they're going to have 180 degrees idea of what the perfect way to eat is. So just forget about it. You're not going to get it just right with your diet. You do the best you can. You hope you're in the right camp and you go along, but you're getting free radical damage. You're getting oxidative stress, and it's wreaking havoc in your cells, which creates havoc in your organs and your systems. And why isn't it going forward? And your self. Okay, why? Oh, here we go. Let me just make sure. Okay. What does this oxidative stress feel like? Well, it feels like I felt when I went to see my doctor. Did you know that the number one reason people in America go to see their doctor is they are tired and have no energy? It's crazy. So it feels like chronic fatigue, no energy, brain fog, lack of ability to focus, aches and pains. I used to call myself the healthiest sick person I knew because I was a triathlete, a marathoner, CrossFitter, but I was catching whatever was going on and I was hanging on to it. And I couldn't figure out if I was the healthiest sick person I knew or the sickest healthy person I knew. I'd always go, which is it? Headaches, lots of unpleasant things. And, you know, it doesn't have to be that way. So what is Proteanum? It's God's pharmacy. I was already taking turmeric, I was already taking green tea, and I was already taking the milk thistle. I had never heard of ashwagandha or bacopa, but they're in there too. And you know what I learned is the reason this product has 7 US patents on the branded finished product is because it's in a specific ratio that has synergy, where each of the ingredients helps the others work better, and the sum is much, in fact, 18 times greater than the whole is 18 times greater than the sum of the parts. So you can't just go and add ashwagandha and bacopa to my turmeric, green tea, and milk thistle regimen and expect to get anything like what Proteanum does. It is so remarkable that that ABC Primetime I told you about, remember, if you haven't seen it, ask the person who shared this with you to get a copy of it. After that aired in 2005, there were researchers sitting on their couch at prime time, 7 p.m. or whatever time it aired, thinking, oh my goodness, if this reduces oxidative stress to the level of a healthy 20-year-old, I need to know what it will do with this condition that I'm studying or that condition that I'm studying, because this and that condition are highly subject to oxidative stress. So to date, we have 28 published peer-reviewed studies on PubMed.gov. If you go to PubMed Central, which is pmc.nih.gov, I think, you will find many more. There's just so much proven that this does to make your body healthier. We didn't stop there. We've activated that Proteanum is an activator that reduces oxidative stress. We have an activator that increases your mitochondrial number and function. We have an activator that upregulates NAD, which is the fuel your mitochondria use. It's also the fuel for some proteins that repair and protect DNA. And we now have collagen. And I will tell you, I was taking collagen before we came up with this because I thought I should. You know, I know you lose 1.5% every year after age 20 or so. So I knew I should take it, but I never really felt anything. I took bovine, I took chicken, I took liquid, I took powder, never felt anything. But I did really know it was something that was important because it's the most abundant protein in our bodies. And we need it in order to, you know, be upright. We need it to, for more than what we think. Okay. So in other words, most people think about collagen, hair and nails. That's not why I was taking it. You know, your skin, your eyes, your brain even needs collagen for, you know, it's not something you think about with the brain, but it actually is involved in biochemical sensing, and it's also involved in structural for the neurotransmitters. So it's important for your gut, your joints, your heart, your vascular system. Definitely great for hair, liver, everything beyond skin deep. So don't think of collagen as just some vanity product for women. So when we did our collagen, we went all out with the research, and I love that the Stevie Awards People's Choice was given to our product the first year it came out. And I'll tell you, what makes it superior and unique is the way it approaches replenishing collagen. It does three things. Think of it an arm, ARM. It arms your body. It activates, it replenishes, and it maintains. So the activation part is a special ingredient that only we have called ruby red quinoa. It activates the 3 genes that make new collagen. And we've seen over 100% improvement in collagen density in the skin. It activates the barrier function, which the skin is your barrier against the outside environment. If you don't have a good barrier function, you're going to have inflammation because the outside world is getting in, and you don't want that. You're going to have more exposure to pesticides, more exposure to UV radiation. You need that barrier function. And these 3 genes, when activated by this, increase barrier function by 5-fold. Here's another thing. SOD is, just look it up. It's the most important antioxidant you have. It activates that by 27-fold or 2,700%. One SOD molecule neutralizes 1 million free radicals a second. Catalase, another superhero antioxidant molecule, that is increased by over 200%. So by itself, it'll increase collagen production by 42%, but I have more good news coming up. Then I want to show you, this is an ultrasound. So the white line on the left is actually the barrier. Okay, I'm going to make this go away. And you see after 4, and so the white line on the left is the barrier, and the yellow dots are the collagen. You see after 4 weeks, there's a lot more yellow dots, meaning there's a lot more collagen. It's almost double after 4 weeks. That's huge. And then after 8 weeks, it's like 140% more. You see tons of yellow dots of collagen. The barrier function slightly more increased, and it is just phenomenal. But we don't stop there. There's 10 different types of marine collagen peptides in here. Most collagens out there on the market have 1 or 2 types of collagen, and your body has 28 types. So having more is just going to allow your body to make the type of collagen you happen to need where you need it. So that is huge. And then the third thing we do is we actually maintain collagen because we slow the breakdown that happens. Remember, I said we lose 1.5% a year. Well, this citrus berry extract actually slows the breakdown of your existing collagen by 33%. So that is, something came up. Hold on. I don't know what there. Okay. And then in the 8-week clinical trial, we had 100% increase in collagen density. As I said, we've got 22% reduction in crow's feet and 10% decrease in roughness. Again, catalase over 200%, and increasing skin elasticity also. So this is huge. But documentation beats conversation. And again, it's not going. I don't know why. Let me see if I can. Interesting. Right. Huh. Okay, let me just stop the share. I don't know why it's not.
You might have to just click right on the slide. Sometimes it won't advance.
Okay, that's Bridget. Thank you. Ha, that helps. Okay, so we have Miss Jane after let's see, I think it's 28, about 30 days here on the left. Her skin looks more taut. The lines, her crow's feet, you can hardly see them. That's amazing. She looks so much better. And this décolleté, I really don't like what happens to women's décolletés after age 40 or so. It just gets crepey, and you can see even that changed. There's Carrie. She went from looking beautiful and maybe having a couple more lines than she did on the right. And her eyes are more open, her skin is brighter. The lady on the right looks like a totally different person, but you can tell it's her, and she is much happier. Her skin is tighter, it's firmer, it's glowier, and lifted. It's just amazing. Here's Betty. She just metamorphed like a butterfly. I just can't even believe the difference between day 1 and then, gosh, it was almost a year later. She's just beautiful, and her collagen is zinging along. There's Seth. His crow's feet are barely visible. Becky, her skin is tighter, brighter. I think this is Rachel's mom. Her neck is just basically almost like she had a neck lift, but I know she didn't. Another lady, you can just see the difference in the neck tightness. It's for all types of complexions. I mean, because when you have your body is making more collagen, it just shows. Randy's under eye bags are gone. The dark circles are gone. This gentleman has less puffiness under his eyes, fewer crow's feet. And Dad, I'm doing a talk. This is another lady that her face looks so much better after just 15 days, and this lady's 25 days. Can't remember her name, but you can see underneath her eye, that line is gone and the crow's feet are gone. This other lady on the right, she looks fresher, younger. And even guys, like I said, Sean looked good before, but you can just see his crow's under eyes bags, and even this line between his nose and his mouth has just vanished. It's amazing. We've got different eyes here. You can see, actually my eyelids got lifted and I didn't even notice it. My friend, Dr. Viglione, had to tell me. She said, Britta, zoom in on your eye. This is our friend, Dr. Nancy's legs. I think it was, I don't know if it was like 21 days. It's just incredible. When you increase your body's production of collagen, beautiful things happen. Now, I want to ask you something. Okay, even bellies, like look at that, the stretch marks. And I have a friend whose daughter just had a baby and she's just amazed at how her stretch marks have vanished. This is Katerina. She was sharing her photo to show her friend how her bags under her eyes have improved. And her friend said, look at your part. Your hair is so much thicker. And look at that. It's about 1/4 or 1/5 as wide. You can just see these people are healthier, more radiant. The hair is healthier, the hair follicles. Now, if you can see these results on the outside from taking something internally, not putting something on your face, taking it internally, these changes happen on the outside. You know something magical is happening on the inside. So when you pair these two activators together, we actually have a study that shows it improves inflammatory responses. It actually reduces a protein that's involved in unhealthy inflammatory regulation by 97%. So you've seen a lot. I've talked a lot. And at this point, you may be thinking, I'm ready to start my own transformation and I want to live a life activated. Well, that's great because we have a whole line of products. You can see we've talked only about the Protandim NRF2 activator. I've briefly mentioned that the activator for mitochondria, the activator for your DNA protection. We've talked about the collagen, but we have a whole skincare line that's topical that complements it beautifully. We've got omegas for healthy cellular communication. We've got micronutrients for morning and afternoon and evening, D3. We've got prebiotics and immune drinks, brain drinks, hair care, fat burn, and even a pet product. So you are going to find something that changes your life dramatically. And if you're looking for even more than that from a health standpoint, we've got the opportunity for you to share it. Remember, take it, feel it, share it. And this is the perfect side income. We don't have to carry any assets. I don't sell, stock, store, or ship anything. Everything in my house is for my personal consumption or my family's. There's no overhead. We have no employees. Thank God. No, we can work from anywhere. We've got a customer service that takes care of our customers beautifully. Tax benefits. We're a debt-free company. We just rang the bell at the NASDAQ last, I think it was May-ish, I don't remember. And then a couple years before that, we rang the other bell. We rang the opening bell a few years ago. We rang the closing bell last year. We get paid for sharing the gift of activation with others. And like I said, I would do it whether they paid me or not. So there's two steps. You pick a pack. You get a pack of products. You get either the collagen and the NRF2, which we talked about tonight, which is only $249, or you get the pack of everything, which has the biggest savings, over 35% savings. I think it's $1,800 worth of savings for only $9.99. And with either one of them, you get our free topical True Renew, which is a better than retinol alternative that works twice as fast without any of the harsh side effects. People love it. You can see it working after one use. Then you pick what you want to get every month. No big deal. That's it. For the next little bit, you're going to get a free True Renew when you order the Healthy Glow Consultant Stack as your monthly subscription order. You're also going to get that with your pack. And you really can go take this as far as you want. If you look at the monthly commissions, it ranges from, barely enough to cover postage or to cover shipping to ridiculous amounts of income. And it's all dependent on how many people you share it with, how hard you work and all that. But I love that we're publicly traded. and transparent. So that is the message. We'd love for you to join our movement today. You take it, you feel it, you share it, we have fun, we make money, and we make a difference. So much fun. Thank you, Carrie.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Dr. Sean McKee, for sharing with us today. You are awesome. And I feel like you. I am so grateful. I remember the day I found out about Pro Tandem. I was 48 years old. I'm going to be 62 this next week. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, after taking Pro Tandem, and they can't tell the difference in the blood of an 80-year-old from that of a 20-year-old. And I can't believe I'm 48 and I'm just now taking this stuff. But I'm so grateful now that I've been taking it for nearly 14 years. It is life altering, and the collagen has just kicked it into full swing, full gear. So thank you for sharing. I'm going to go ahead and